Just let everybody get on whenever they want, whenever they get on. Okay, so I want to discuss, they have definitely, been messing with the devices. So, okay, the we already talked about that yesterday, but the Most High always put us on game way before, they start doing the little shenanigans that they do. Okay, so yes, your internet and, within the Wi-Fi connection of your home. Once, like I talked about before, I had the whole video, on my YouTube channel, okay, because they start messing with the live yesterday, and we couldn't get in depths about, the what they're doing according to the towers. They're messing with the towers, okay. Within your hometown, they have it where there's connections that's connected, to each individual's home through the Wi-Fi, through your router box. And that connection is connected to, the towers that they were putting up, remember, within 2019, 2018 or whatever. Yes. And what they're doing is they're signaling negative energy and negative frequency through the neighborhoods, through those towers that goes through your routers of your Wi-Fi. And when you're turning on those connections of, within Bluetooth, and you're trying to get signal through your devices, this is what's happening. They're hacking. Basically, like I said before, like yesterday, they're using these devices to hack into it, to basically, monitor you. Basically monitor you. Everything you put on these devices and everything you got going on, they're trying to remote view it. I just seen it on my laptop. When I turned off my laptop and I turned it back on, it was so many different boxes. Like how you minimize stuff. It was like a whole bunch of minimizing. I didn't open these minimizing things that keep popping up, like back to back. These are other, people that have been hacked into my device. It's not rocket. It doesn't take rocket science to figure that out. Okay. But the Most High already put us on game, about it yesterday. And when I coming back, when I'm waking up today, all of a sudden there's glitches and there's a bunch of hacking BS, all throughout the devices. I know a lot of you guys, some of you guys may can't even go get into your devices right now because they're trying to, take over your devices. Just like they're trying to take over people. I was talking about that yesterday, how they really starting to think that people are devices that they can hack into and they can use. I mean, you see people glitching before your eyes. You can't walk outside and then have a normal walk with your dog and other people walking their dog and they start glitching in front of you. They start getting taken over in front of you and you got to witness that. I'm like, man, I rebuke that, bro. Like, this is innocent people here. The people that you feel like those are your enemies, you be like, man, everybody turned against me. Those are innocent people. Those people don't mean you harm. They hacked, they got into it, within, hacking those people and made them people do something to provoke you or to do something that betrayed you or whatever. During that hacking that took place, made them react like that towards you. And now you thinking like, man, I got all these enemies. It's these sick individuals, that's going around here, not just hacking devices, but really hacking people. You get up, right? You get up after you sleeping, right? And all of a sudden your head hurting because you don't understand that you had a spiritual warfare because they tried to hack you last night. They've been trying to hack you. But it's like, they're so embedded into like hacking, trying to take over, your mind because they're hijacking. Correct. Third eye. Exactly. But it's like you've been, so much of, it's so hard because they can't do that with you. So you wake up every day with, not every day, but you wake up, throughout the, soul harvesting. Exactly. Come on, third eye. Exactly. This is what we've been witnessing. We thinking like, oh my God, everybody just turned into, betraying me and just doing this, doing that. No, it's these people hacking into these, hijacking, and soul harvesting these individuals, innocent souls that mean no harm. They do not. Everybody is not your enemy. It's these folks. It's the enemy. They're trying to take over, have control over everything on earth. That's their mission. Have everyone under, this control through this system that they created. But it's not working for you. It's not. They can't do that same stuff that they doing to all these other folks. They can't do that to you. So they just made you the target, right? But they made everybody else, one of them, what do you call it? One of them, basically like one of them clones, like made them a clone. Why they're the handler, like they are control of the body, but they're the clone. All you see is them. Like all you see when you are interacting with people, you see them, but they're getting controlled. That's what make me so mad. Cause I'm like, man, this guy, this should have been, man, it should have been World War, 15 when this stuff start happening, when they start hijacking innocent souls on earth, bro. This is not cool. This is not cool. And then the people somebody got to explain to you that they don't know what happened and they sorry of what they did to you. And we, at first when I didn't understand that this was going on, I took it to like, you should take accountability for your actions. You should have known what you did, and you should know. And then like ramming down on them, and the Most High had to sit me down and let me know that, man, do you not know that this person was hijacked? They don't know. They blinked out. They was taken over, fully controlled. And I had to sit back and I had to really do my research because I wasn't taking none of that. I was like, man, I don't want to hear none of that. These people know what they doing and know this and know that. I was just like going in, according to when the Most High was talking to me. And then I had to chill. I'd say, hey, let me check myself real quick. What you mean by that? Because I'm seeing it more often than what is happening. And I'm talking about people that I don't know. So you must be on to something. Because I see people at the grocery store getting just took it over in an instant. And then I see people, on the highway when I'm driving, getting taken over. And then everywhere, it's like, okay, I actually have an ear for that now. Because it's starting to make sense where they doing that to innocent people everywhere. And I see it and I get so angry because they doing it to children, trying to take over children. I'm like, man, ain't no child would do that. And then I realized that they hijacked their frequency and they tapped in, to their energy, and they tapped into their brain and they start controlling it, doing things within this children. And when I start seeing that, and I had to talk to the Most High. Because the technology, fine and dandy, right? Who cares? But when you start tapping in and you have the capability to tap into humans on earth, this is a problem. Hijacking any chance they get. Man, folks really got to up their vibration. They got to up their energy. You know what I'm saying? They got to come up. Because if folks start working on themselves and start coming up, they can't hijack you. So the word, that need to be spreaded is you need to start telling folks, how to come up. Because as long as you down here, they got a chance to take over you, man. They got a chance to take over your vessel and have you doing some crazy things. And you don't even remember. As you snapping back, all you know is somebody mad at you, telling you what you did. And you don't have no clue. Because you got taken over and you ain't under the influence of alcohol or any substance of any sort. Yeah, that's why they played and used the crazy card on us. And that psychologists are in on it being said. Yeah, they all in on it. They all know it. They all in that one order. That one order thing that they were trying to establish. They wanted everybody to be under control. They wanted everybody to be submitted to that. And the ones that they couldn't, they placed them under that they place them, You know, us, like they place us in that targeting program. Some of you guys, you need to go to my YouTube channel, Sunflower Infinity. I'm talking about it on there. How the ones that they cannot control, you know, and hijack, you know, hijack your vessel and energy harvest you, they will put you in the targeting program. That's why you'll be like, well, I'm in the targeting program. This person, they're still in the program, ma'am, sir. They're in the hijacking and soul harvesting program. You can't be in that, so they put you in the targeting program. So they can siphon your energy through tormenting you, trying to keep you in a low vibration so they can energy harvest you that way, because they can't energy harvest you that way. Yeah, they're evil. Even if you go into the doctors, they're evil. It's evil there. It's evil at the doctors too. Any institution is the same energy there. Any institution, any clinic, building, it's the same thing. Same thing. They make it that way. So they make it better for these parasites on earth. Remember, you their supply. Ever since you stepped in this earth, you know, you was marked as a supply for parasites that you can't really see, and they hide in people. And if they can't hide in people, their energy rumbling around, you feel the energy. And folks ain't got to be present for you to feel that energy. It's nasty. It's disgusting. It's draining. You like, what is that? I'm gonna need that out of my energy ASAP. Disgusting. Feeling like you feeling sick and weak. You know when it comes. It's a feeling that you can't shake. And, you know, we thought it was just, we were just in a targeting program. But, you know, you don't understand that everybody on earth is in a program based off of who you are. Everybody been selected in each program based off of who you are. So the ones that's cannot be hijacked and, you know, can't be, you know, put into these, you know, secret societies and, you know, these occult covenants and all these things. Oh, you're placed in the targeting program, ma'am, sir. So you got to stand 10 toes and boss up there. And I've been showed you that on my YouTube channel, Sunflower Infinity. I'll be posting up more videos. You know, now that we're on stage 6, I'll be posting up more videos explaining of what's taking place going up in the stages. And basically what I'm be talking about, I'm getting in depth about, is what I'm speaking of about these different programs that they place each individual in. And it's all about siphoning, you know, your light force. These parasites on earth, they feed off of that. You know, they made human, especially lighter light beings, they supply. They hunt down you. That's why they put you in these jobs. These jobs is not all about money. When you working 12 and 8 hours a day, do you not know how much energy that's draining out of you? Guess who's all around you? Guess who's your managers? Guess who's your supervisors? Guess who's the creator of that company? Parasites. They know exactly who to hire. They know exactly who to fire when they're done, you know, with you. And you think it's based off of money. You think it's based off of what you did. No. It's not. Unfortunately. You know, it's kind of hard thinking about it like that. But when you look at, you know, what is this, you know, the spiritual aspect of it, that's why I said everything is spiritual. A lot of people, they want to, you know, creep behind, you know, spirituality. But it's really a spiritual war that's taking place. Been taking place. She said, yes, literally hunt you down, same spirits, different face. And then it get worse if you deal with the energy. Yeah, it does. It does. It's definitely, these parasites got the same energy because it's coming from the same source. And all he doing is sending them out, you know, getting hunting down the the prey and bringing it back to him. And we wondering, what is this all about? I'm telling you what it is. It always was. You're trying to figure out, man, I'm fighting for my soul. You've been fighting for your soul. That's what it's been about. These parasites, they want your soul, period. They want your soul. They want your energy. They want your light force. They want everything. They want everything. Once they take your soul, they got everything. This is what you've been fighting. A lot of folks been giving their soul away. They don't even understand it. They don't even understand what they're doing. That's when they wonder how they can get just hijacked out of nowhere. You gave your soul. These are these folks that sold their soul. The ones that the devil can just hijack them like that easily. These folks, they soul was snatched. You still got yours. All praise to the Almighty God. You still have yours. That's why you can't. You wonder why you see this every day, and you have yours. This will be a celebration every day for you. You should walk to the pits of hell and be stumping, be stumping through this thing. I bet you can't take mine. You're going to see me every single day. I'm going to make sure you see me every day and understand that you ain't taking this soul. The devil is a liar. And I just, my soul cry out to those who got their souls taken away. Because that's messed up, man. The fact that you got somebody just could take over you any chance. In any hour within a day, they can just snatch you up. And they could put you in a dang freezer while they out here just activating all up in your vessel. That's messed up. And then you so happens to wake up, and whenever, some of them don't. Some of them just be encaged. Some of just be encaged. It depends on whatever this devil want to do with your soul. Because he ain't got to let you, back. He ain't got to let you back in that. That's his soul. And the only way that he want to let you back is when he want to trick somebody. As he want to, he want to send some hitman or something, to you. They're like, okay, yeah, you can operate in that vessel. And then, after maybe the third day, I'm a take over. And then you be like, who is that? Some people be coming in there like, I never knew her to be like that. I never knew him to be like that. That was just, this devil was just playing you. This is the real individual, but understand, the devil got his soul. So the devil trying to let you know that if you want to be with him or if you want to be with her, you're going to have to be with me too. Devil is a liar. Sir, ma'am, you got to be cut. I ain't about to have no devil connected to me. That's how this thing goes. You gonna have to be cut. I'm sorry. My soul belongs to the Most High himself. The devil think like, oh, well, I let you fall in love with him. I let you fall in love with her. Excuse me? I ain't fell in love with no devil. I'm sorry. I don't see him or her as her or him. I see them as who they're attached to. The Bible states you need to examine the spirit, not the vessel, not the little ship it came in. The ship looked real good, but what's inside of it? What's inside of the ship? He said test what's inside. He didn't say test what's the outer appearance. He said the hell with the outer appearance. He says test the spirit to see who that person is. He didn't say nothing about no outer appearance and all what this person doing and all that. That could mean a can of beans. They ain't got nothing to do with it. You ain't playing no trap games over here. We done away with that. There's so many people getting trapped by that bull crap because they ain't testing what they supposed to test. I need to know who you actually is. Ma'am, sir, do you not know this devil? He's snatching people and he's bringing them like in our face to make it seem like that's who they is. And then this Chucky, Freddy versus Jason start coming out. This devil start showing himself of, oh no, you married to me. No. You my friend. No, I ain't. I bet you, I put money on that. I bet you I'm not. You going to be very shocked what I'm going to do. That's how this devil don't know how to come at us. He don't know what type of tricks. He don't know what to do to us. He can't even take our soul. So he already know. He already know what it is with us. How you gonna try to trick someone that you ain't even got their soul, sir? How you gonna trick someone and they don't even have your type of spirit, sir? How are you gonna try to run game on some who got eyes to see who you of, sir? We looking dead at you. We know who you is, even under the soul that you can snatch and try to wiggle in our face and try to make it seem like it's okay. What he doing is he trying to hide in these souls that he snatched. Remember, he gotta get somebody to make you feel like, oh, this is okay, right? So he just using that person that he already got the soul to, the hook, line, and sink you. So when you hooked and you synced, he can show his true colors. He can come out and play. This is what's been going on in every story that come out. If it's on the news, if it's on this app, if it's just in the media as a whole, this is the same tactic that this devil used. He used a soul that he snatched, and he show up in an individual, right? And then once they gave in to it, and they actually trust and let their guard down, and all this feelings and emotions got caught up and connected, then he come out and he start playing. And then things start happening for the worse. Yeah, definitely a spiritual war. It always been for your soul. You always was in war for your soul, period. This is all what he came down here for. And folks is giving in as if you don't understand what you have to protect. And the Bible already states how we supposed to discern each person. Test the spirit by the spirit to see who you dealing with. Forget about the outer appearance. Stop, oh my gosh, stop giving in to this devil. When you so into some, looking at the outer appearance. That don't mean nothing. I can't speak that enough. Folks are still in that, you ready to give your soul away. You just ready. If you so in tune with the outer appearance, that's the biggest deception. I can't say that enough. Folks is even actually going to surgery. I'm actually changing who they is. So you can't really go off of the outer appearance. They got devils working. This devil got devils working in, these surgery places, clinics, and, physicians in all these buildings, just so that he can continue to deceive them on a whole nother level. He like, man, I want to take this deception on a whole nother level. Folks still falling for it. Folks still day and night giving their soul to this devil. This devil just snatching souls like he around pulling wigs off. This is easy. These folks are still not getting it. They not getting it when I'm pulling on them. They fall, he getting more ideas by people just falling for it. And this is why the world is getting so small, because they keep it's only a few left. It's only a few left. Please don't think it's a multitude and, no, half of the people, their soul is gone. This is why I show up. Through the grace of the Most High. This is the reason why I show up, and I have to explain. Because I see people getting hijacked before my eyes, and it break my heart, man. I be like, wow, they got you too, sir? The Most High, he shows me, like, how this devil got his soul. This devil got her soul. This devil got, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just walking around. I'm just like, it irritates me. Because I see devices getting hacked every day. All my devices is hacked. I'm like, but when I see people getting hacked and people got their soul snatched, and then they like crying out because they like, man, I apologize for whatever I did. I didn't even know what I did. And it's like, man, I know you can't even stop it because your soul is, in my head, some people, you don't want to, it's a certain way that you got to act. You got to, go back to the Most High to see how you can talk to people about their soul being snatched. Because you can't just say that to people, but you know why they can't control it. They don't want to do that. They don't want to act like that towards you. They don't want to, dismantle the relationship or the friendship or whatever ship that you guys have, but this devil, he has their soul, so it's nothing that they can do. They're going to definitely act like your enemy because he has their soul. They cannot treat you with respect and dignity and with how you should be treated, because this devil will not allow it, because he's the handler of this soul. So it's like, it's detrimental being around, that soul that has been snatched, because what this devil's going to operate and use this soul for you, not in the best way. Unfortunately. And it could be the people around you, people that birthed you, man. This can be, in how this devil can snatch their soul is through torment. You know what I'm saying? Like some folks, they can blank out through torment. Meaning, how us, where we look for the greater good when we go through torment or we go through some tragic situations, we boss up with like, no pain, no pain, no gain. You know what I'm saying? That make us stronger. Like, I don't know how the Most High build this, but I feel like pain and going through stuff, it makes me stronger. Like I beast up, like in a mighty way. But with other people, they can't take that. Their soul can break and they become dark. They become a dark soul. And that's when the devil come in and they start doing dealings with the devil, and the devil can take their soul through that. Meaning they turning their back on the Most High, and they don't want to, they don't trust in him no more. They don't have no faith. They don't have no encouragement. There's nothing left in them but want to do, want to do dark things. That can happen. Fortunately, I chose to make my pain my gain. Meaning, hey, I'm going to get stronger. Like, it's going to make me, make me stronger. Like, actually encourage me. Like, help me get stronger. So that's what the result of with me. But everybody ain't me. Everybody ain't you. You feel me? That's why we gotta understand that. We gotta understand that some stuff could break another soul. Some folks can't master the things that you mastered, or got through things that you got through. Some of that stuff is it's breaking folks, man. Yeah, like me, I learned that I fight all my battles in the spiritual battle, like spiritually. Some folks, they're trying to fight things that are spiritually, physically, and that's why they're getting broke. That's why their soul is getting snatched, because, they're getting overtaken, because it always was a spiritual battle. Always. So they're getting overtaken, they're getting overwhelmed, like, okay, why is it ain't working? I'm trying to do this, trying to do that. But you have not prayed one time, ma'am, sir. You have not prayed about what you was going through, enraged in spiritual warfare on what you were going through. I bet you if you did that, your life will be changing. Ask me how I know. Every time this devil try anything, I'm going straight into the spiritual field. I'm gonna meet you in the field. You thought I was gonna deal with you out here, huh? Yeah, that's what you thought. But folks and wised up. We know what's actually taking place. I'm gonna meet you in somewhere else. You gonna see me, but it's gonna be somewhere else. Yes, ma'am, sir. Every single time. But a lot of people, they don't know that information. So they're getting overtaken to where they feel as though, oh, the Most High, he betrayed me. there is no such thing as him. And, I'm left alone. So if you leave me alone, apparently you want me to be with this devil and all. And then, hey, all this negativity getting overtaken. They start to believe this. And once you start believing your thoughts, you start acting on your thoughts. And then here come this devil creeping in. Yeah, exactly. That's how you win. You call judgment on what's been taking place. You pray, and you stay vigilant out here. Stay vigilant. Because the adversary, he's always rumbling around earth trying to what? Kill, steal, and destroy. Once you already called judgment and you already prayed on that, you got the victory. The Most High, his words do not come back void, and he's not a man that he should lie, neither repent. Once you start speaking the words according to what this devil had done, he's done. And it goes for these witches and these warlocks and all these wizards and all these necromancers. Once you start speaking the word of God according to what they doing, they're done. Ask me how I know. Just ask. I really do want somebody to ask. They are under your feet. Because he expects you to start stating the word of the Most High and what he said according to these serpents and these bottom feeders, parasites that goes underneath the earth. He said what he said about them. And you got to state what the Most High say. They're done. But other people, they trying to fight it another way. They trying to get revenge, and you not understand that the battle is not ours. It's always been the Most High. Okay? So you shouldn't be putting no energy into you fighting it. You be stating what the Most High say. That word is our weapon. Understand that. You shouldn't be overtaken by this. The energy, you should still have energy left because you stating exactly what's about to come to pass according to what this parasite have done according to you. That's it. It's done after that. But they handling a different way. And that's how they getting, more broken, more heartbroken, because they ain't getting the results that they getting in this devil. He's tagging them in the spirit. He's bum, 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 bum in the spirit. They ain't doing nothing. They just, you're going to get overtaken. He hitting you in the spirit. He's sending all these demons in the spirit at you. And it's manifesting in the physical realm. And you're not doing nothing. You don't know how to fight. That's the problem with a lot of, God's children. And why, it's kind of like rocky is because it's the fight. You got to learn how to fight. Fight this war, this spiritual battle that we speaking of right now. This is a spiritual battle. This devil trying to snatch souls. He don't care. He wants your soul. You still run, especially if you run around here and you still got your soul. Oh, you are a target. You are. He ain't worried about nobody else. He already got there. Did you not see how crazy they acting toward going past? They working for him now. You gotta get clear away from them. You wonder why it was like a whole clown zoo in there. You walking around, it's a whole zoo. It's like, what the? It's like, what is going every day? You like, what in the world? He got that man up there doing that. He got that lady up there doing that. Yes. When he got your soul, he could do anything within the vessel. This is what you've been seeing. This is what is setting. But this is, it really, it really break my heart though. Cause I'm like, dang, like he got the people's soul. Like when you really look in depth, like actually feeling, all these emotions or whatever you're going through as a target individual, you got to look, more, you got to come up a little bit more higher in, your thoughts of you seeing things. It's like this devil ain't got their soul, bro. Like this was actually a soul. Now it's empty. This vessel is empty. um it really did irritate me. It still is. Every time I come out and I see people who got their soul snatched, it does. It does. Even though some of them, it may have been their choice of giving their soul away, or they just saying that the hell with it, and they didn't really care about it, about them having their soul or whatever that they was going through. Maybe they got sacrificed into it. I don't know. Actually, what happened in their life that took place. But when you see this every day, it is messed up. It is. Where you don't have you don't have control over nothing. You think like they can just do the things that you can do, and and go about how you go about. They cannot do that. They're 24/7 hijacked. And a lot of them, like I said before, if the devil's not using them as a disguise, they're not there. Okay? I need that to be capitalized, because I still see a lot of divine ones arguing with people they think that's still there. They're not. Sometimes you might just have to walk away because you already know you're talking to something that's just like a wall. Literally. Part not there. And that's what be getting me, because I be wanting to say something a little, I find myself wanting to say something, but I'm like, man, I'm just talking to a wall, bro. Like, I just need to walk off. Because at this point, I know I'll be stupid, because you know what's going on, and you like, why are you talking to something that's just not there? Yeah, exactly. You say you stay to yourself, this. Yeah, because you like, man, there is no soul there. There is nobody there, bro. It's like you're putting energy into something that is clearly not there. It's like a statue. Literally. That's how sad it is. You really think that, oh yeah, this is so... Nobody there. And that's what makes me irritate, because I'm like, man, now this should have been like a draw in the line in the sand. Come on, Christ and, the Most High, come on back now. Can wrap this up, because this is a shame. And it's only a few of us left. Literally. It's getting smaller. And I think the Most High, he's trying to weed out the tares, I guess, who gonna be the one that stand, to endure to the end, and who's gonna be the one that gets sold out. You read your Bible. It says that in not Timothy's, excuse me, in Revelation. And it also says, it talks about that in Timothy's too, but in Revelations, it talked about the last days, and, who gonna be last man standing, last woman standing? Who gonna be? You're gonna see, all the folks that sold out. You're going to witness this, what you already are, and it's just sad when you do witness it. It's like, wow, it's like everywhere. It makes you not even want to be, because it's like, these is just like, really, you're around just like empty, really dead bodies. And they, sometimes they may start stinking. Who wants to be around some body that's, once you take the spirit and the soul out of the body, what do you think it's going to do? And you just sitting there, and you're just like the main character, like the Truman Show. You just like, everybody focus on you 24/7 because you're just around a bunch of dead, just literally like zombies. Literally zombies. And you just around. I know you feel that. You be like, man, like, no wonder why folks is like really like embarked, and just attentive to me and just want to surround me, because you're the only living thing. You're the only light living thing that's around. Everything else is dead. I'm just gonna keep it real. Yeah, exactly. Even when it's cold outside, yep, you see it, you still see it. The flies around them. Yeah, they know when something, when something is, dead, because you even see more, like bugs and stuff around. You even, see that certain smells. It just smells like something's like, like, that smell. It's not like a funky hygiene smell. It just smells like something that just y'all know what type of smell I'm talking about. It's like something really dead. And it's unfolks. And they trying to act like, they could shower and doing all this. No, it's not something that you can get away, man. That's just something that somebody say you speaking facts. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. I know y'all witnessing this. It's like, it's sad. It really is. You could tell, like, the certain folks don't even look the same. Like the folks that you have accounted before, and when they had their soul, like when y'all was a child or something, or you was raised up with this person, you like go past this person, they don't look the same. They don't look like with a soul. Like they don't look like a light being no more. You know what I'm saying? Look like they soul not there, basically. Like the devil had his way. And sometimes it makes you want to break down. Sometimes you got to really get yourself together, because it really be making you like really want to break down. Like, man, I known him, man, I known her. It's no disrespect. It's just like, dang, that's messed up. You know what happened, because you're spiritually, wise. You know what happened. It ain't like you don't need to ask or anything. You know what took place. And you just like, nothing you can do. All you can do is like, just, only thing you can do is, pray. Pray for them. And you got to walk away. You can't even be connected, because you already know that this devil using them. That's a soul that's been converted, that's been taken over. So you can't, there's no relationship, there's no bond, there's nothing. All you could do is keep it pushing. Is move forward. You cannot get close to these people anymore. The ones who got their soul snatched, you cannot. Don't even try to build nothing. Don't even try to talk to it, because who you talking to is the devil. The devil, that's his eyes, his ears. Is like, really, if you got them around, he's looking and he's hearing according to, and using them. So if you want this devil in your business, if you want this devil around you, this is what you will be doing according to these people who sold out, who sold their soul. Yeah, exactly. When Locke, his wife, when he tried to tell his wife, what was to come, if she don't get it together, and if she don't stop doing this, if she don't, stop doing that, we ain't got that much time, this devil knocking at the door. She ran out of time. She wanted to continue doing those things. Her soul was connected to those things that was connected to the devil. And what happened? And Locke knew that he couldn't even stay there. He had to go. Or else he's going to put his life in danger and his 2 daughters. So she had to stay. He left her there because he knew the devil already had her. What ain't nothing he can do. Some folks, you got to understand that the devil already had his way. The Most High already taken his hands off of these certain people. And remember, we don't know the full history of these folks. All we can see is what we can see, but the Most High, he sees it all. If the Most High turn his back and act like he never knew you, you chose this devil. You chose him. You did not choose the Most High. They chose this devil. And the Most High turned them over to him. Yeah, it's a wrap with You know, folks is getting locked up as of right now. If you speaking of the identity fraud and them trying to steal inheritance, it's already they already a lot of them are already being taken to custody. They already getting locked up. That's been knocking at your door. I heard that message 2 days ago. Yeah, folks were they got caught. They got caught. They got caught with the false documents. You know, they got caught, you know, with the fake IDs and the social security cards, all that. Whoever else that was in that law office who had proven that, which was one of their aunties, in the family. Because it was one reason, the reason why they had it going like that is because there was a family, you know, that was working in that law office that was approving it. She got caught. She went to jail. Yeah, they caught her. That was the one that or him. Excuse me, it's either him or her. That someone that was in that cult, their mother or their sister, brother, cousin, aunt, whoever that was related to them that was approving them documents. Yeah, it was already exposed that they got caught. Ma'am, sir. You know, I don't understand why, but that's why they ask you, you know, when you're doing paperwork or something, you know, with whatever, like in the business, you know, you have to send some paperwork off. You better make sure that you're not related to that individual. You know what I'm saying? They go right into the individual that they're related to, and that's already red flag. Especially if you guys got the same last names. They're not smart at all. The evidence is everywhere. If you wondering if they have found any evidence was everywhere. These folks were the biggest dummies. They literally was working with family members that was in businesses that was overriding fraud documentation. How smart is that? If you're going to actually do that, if you were a criminal, as you say, you wouldn't be working with relatives that's in the same business that you're submitting the documentations. They silly. Evidence is everywhere. Evidence. They don't even have to even do work, like hard work, like the investigators. They don't even have to do hard work on trying to find evidence. Evidence is just thrown everywhere. This was like one of the easiest cases to be solved. They just had to figure out, since it is an operation, they had to take proper measures. Because they had to figure out who's behind who in this business, like we talked about before. You know, they had to find out everybody that's in these businesses that are working with these, you know, corrupt people. You know, they had to be taken out because they cannot work there anymore. You know, they can't be trusted around confidential, you know, people's, you know, secure paperwork. And they can't be around it. Like, you can't be trusted. Like, you know. Yeah. Because then again, it goes back to those who, you know, who may have, the ones that are doing these things once again. Like, I'm not sure those who just came in, that we are on a topic of, you know, the devil, how he's hacking. He was hacking devices, and he's hacking people out here. I'm here to tell you, most of all the crimes and things is orchestrated by this devil as well, to do these things to us, to divine ones, to the Most High children. You know, he's orchestrating and he's hijacking them to do corrupt things according to specific people. Okay, like, don't get it twisted. It always goes back to a spiritual war. You know, this devil know what was left for you. He knew, you know, about your inheritance. He knew about He knew about everything that you was going to get within your timeline of you living. He knew that, hey, this person is going to be granted this. This person is going to have this life. This person is going to have this destiny, right? So he already have used the people who sold out to him, sold out his soul that is close to you, that's going to be the ones who try to do certain things to you. This is nothing new. And they sold out to it. Don't ever get it twisted. They don't feel any type of way of what they did. They don't even have a soul or a conscience to even feel anything. Remember, these are empty souls. These are souls who the Most High have already washed his hands and turned them over to what they wanted, which is, this devil. Yeah. You know how that story, if you guys have not seen Cain, when it was Cain and Abel, and, of what, basically what the Most High had done to Cain, how he washed his hands off and he gave him to the devil, and what his life was about. It's kind of somewhat like your relatives and how they are according to you, and the Most High knew that you were going to draw that line in the sand, because you're going to understand that the Most High, that's not his child. And like I say, you could be birthed from the same womb. That's not the Most High's child. They're not going to like you. They're going to figure out, why are you so different from them, and y'all came from the same place, same person. Why you coming out different and you don't move like them? Nothing about you is the same. And you always seem to get favor. Like when you guys both do something at the same time, you be the one to get the most admiration. Why is it? They're gonna instantly realize that we're not from the same creator. Like, we're not from the same actual seed. For real. We came out, through the same portal, but we didn't actually come from the same place that you thinking that I came from. Okay? And this is what Abel was trying to tell his brother. Because every time the Most High tell them to do something, and they always come back with something, this devil Cain never could get it. He never came back with the stuff that the Most High told him to get. But seemed like Abel, he always hit the mark. So you already got Cain, this devil Cain in the back of his head, like, hold up. How you knew that? How you knew what he like? How you just know what to do? How you just know what to move, how to move, and what is this? And this is what you've been going through. You're like, why you seem to know how to do certain things, even when it seems like it's impossible, to do or to maneuver when we in a rocky road place. How do you know how to build things and get things back moving again? And they don't know how to do that. Because this is what they've been doing. They've been putting you in a rocky road place that they knew that they couldn't get out. So they knew that you couldn't get out either. But that's the thing. Why are you comparing yourself to me, to you? This is what you messed up. Because you had to realize that we ain't the same people. The reason why, they was actually even more angry at you is because they continue to compare themselves, to you. And they tried to create all these trials and tribulations, knowing that they can't get themselves out of. So you can't either, right? But for some reason, you always end up getting yourself out of certain things that they thought that you would never, because they could never, but they failed to realize we are not the same people. So then you start continuing on, your timeline, and the Most High start revealing to you that, hey, that's not a mind. That you thinking, that's a part of so-called you're this and you're that, of according that's kin to you. Maybe that's whatever you feel that you thinking, like, this person is connected to you some way, somehow. The Most High had to explain to you that this person not connected to me. I don't know this person. So then things got confusing, because you like, how when we came from the same, that ain't got nothing to do with where you actually come from. That's why you start, kind of taking your loyalty card back, because you like, man, I was actually loyal to something that, was never a part of me this whole time. Ding, 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 ding. This is how this devil work. And this is why I'm trying to figure out how do things get out of hand this way, where, there's souls that is connected to different creators, right? But we could get caught up and deceived by it if you don't go by the rule book that I was speaking of before we got on this live here, ma'am, sir. Never test the spirit by who your relatives is, or what did you come out of according to the womb, or who's your your father, and who's who's your bloodline of this and all this and that. You did not test the spirit to figure out who these folks even is. Remember, when I'm reading, like part of getting wisdom and knowledge of something, I don't read it as if for other people read it. I read it as it's a bunch of parables. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ever, read anything that has to do with, spirituality, or just trying to get information from the Most High, or his, or Christ, if you read it as a book, you would never find the information that you need to find to confirm, who you are and who you supposed to be of. If you read it as if how they told you to read in school, you will be misunderstood. If you don't put the parables and the metaphors and and all these key points that are together, you're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get the information. That's confirmation for somebody. Because, like I said, the Most High, He talked to us through parables. Okay? That's the only way you're going to get the information. The actual, real information is through parables. Or else it's going to be very confusing to you. Because if you just growing up and, all you seeing is people that have all these titles to you, and you see who's connected to who based off of a family tree and all this, you will get caught up in that. You will feel like, hey, I'm being very, I may be being disrespectful of so and so because this is and they from this, and they connect to who, and that ain't, who taught you that? That is the wrong analogy to use. You confused, ma'am, sir. You may not be connected to nothing off this family tree. What if you were birthed to make another tree, and this new tree ain't connected to none of this old tree that you try to connect yourself with, ma'am, sir? You never got that information because you are looking at how they taught you in school, but you're not really attentive to how the Most High trying to teach you. You get what I'm saying? When He say you got to erase everything that them folks try to teach you, please do that. Because you will be in a trap with a bunch of, zombies like Abel did. If he would have known, he would have came back to the Most High and say, hey, is that really my brother? Because I really got to examine this, because we don't have nothing in common. And I do believe He's trying to set me up. Most High would have told him he got the Nephilim spirit, lineage. He from the Nephilim, lineage. I'm talking about when them giants came down there and start mating with the humans. That's the bloodline he came from. He not from the same bloodline as you. You see, if he would have put 2 and 2 together and he would have sat and set on that and then asked the Most High, he would have departed from his brother a long time ago. You're not my brother. That's why you feeling, all envious of me and strife and ready to get me up out of here. Cause you from the Nephilim, you from the seed of Lucifer. That's why you off that. And that's why we ain't off that. We can't even think of stuff like that. How to set somebody up. Really? We don't even have, that's not even in our spirit. But this is in these Satan seeds, these parasites. This is what they do. It's in their blood, it's in their DNA. You know how they always gotta search for and see what type of DNA you is? It's important. Them people smart. They're very smart. This is what you need to be. This is what you and I need to be doing. We need to be searching what type of DNA you have. Because I need to know if you got the same DNA as me. So I know I'm safe. We need to go all the way back to DNA. I need to know, who are you of? Because the DNA surely would tell you who these people is if you really want to know. And actually will tell you if you actually are even, connected to the people, like if you of the people that you think you connected to. You may have the different DNA than everybody in your whole entire family. And you thinking like, oh, but these my people, though. They may not be. But some of that based off of spirit. But I'm saying if you really want to go into debt, you can find that out through you, getting a DNA check. And they don't want you to do that. Because it's telling too much. It's telling too much. I don't know if it's the same, but I know it could be in these categories that pinpoint of who is who based off of each individual. You know what I'm saying? You might have not the exact, but you have we in that same category though. All the targets, we in that same category that makes us of what do they call us? Being disrespectful. They calling us half human, you know what I'm saying, and half whatever. I think some lady had told me. I had forgot what they were saying. But they said something, but it's like it scares people, what type of DNA, because we have like one of the highest levels of what people be wanting if they want to heal. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the DNA of of a person that's sick, right? They would want your blood. That's all I'm saying. I ain't gonna say too much. I'm not gonna say too much. Why you think in the doctor office they always want your blood, bro? It's like, dang, we gotta take a blood test. Bro, I'm not giving you no more. I'm not giving you my blood so you can go back and try to heal a parasite. What you think this is? No. I'm not doing that. You're not. No way. No way. But yeah, I'm telling y'all, when they be trying to take y'all blood at them offices, officers, look at spirit. When they trying, don't think it's for, oh, I just really need to know what's going on with you. There's other ways. I can go pee. Why can I go pee in a cup? Why you need my blood? Yeah. It's crazy out here, you guys. I'm telling y'all. Oh my God. The spirit laughing at me, bro. I don't know what's funny. But are y'all still here? I need to know if this thing's still going. Because I think we've been on this for an hour. Oh, we're still going? Okay. Yeah, I hope you guys are being edified. I hope stuff is like actually making sense to why things is moving the way it's moving. We talked about the hijacking, okay, you guys? You guys are going to see a lot of hijacking. The adversary, I say adversary a lot because I don't like this, keep saying the devil this, the devil that. So I say adversary. It sounds a little bit more proper. So what I'm saying is the adversary, he's going to show himself in the people. Now, if you're a target individual, he's going to show people, he's going to show himself more in people that he has their soul. Okay? And this is what you're witnessing. Okay? You can be wherever you at. Okay? You could be at work, you could be in your neighborhood, you could be going to like little stores, hopefully, you guys are being more, creative, where y'all know how to do your own hair, y'all know how to do your own nails, you know how to do, more things according to, you don't rely on other people, because again, a lot of people ensold themselves, y'all. So, you don't want no empty vessel, near you, like tampering with your hair or doing your nails and, all that. I'm already, trying to figure out how can I do my own eyebrows, you know what I'm saying? Because I go to the lady who, she thread my eyebrows, but I can already tell, man, I can already tell that, I'm dealing with, an empty soul there. So it's just real, like, it's so few that are out here. Okay? It's not a lot. That's why you like, dang, how could somebody so easily do like all these horrible things to other people? And, you have no conscience. You just going around here and just stealing, killing, robbing, and all this. These are empty souls. These are lost souls. The soulless beings that we're speaking of. It's easy for them to do certain things because they're not here. This you actually seeing the work of this devil. How a little kid can do that. This kid is gone. This is not the little kid that you think you looking at. This is a straight up demon. Now, there's no soul in that vessel. I know some people are like, dang, how can you just go there and just and then on the, go into a building? That is not, do you really think that's a soul? Like, let's really be honest. Come on now. Do you really think that's a soul? Some person that really had a soul, they would be so much in fear to where they're faint. They could not do things like that. Someone with an actual soul, even the thought of them trying that, they would just faint with fear and anxiety. Yeah, they don't care. They have no, like, I'm talking about, they in the courtroom, the judge is like, so what made you just, do that to your whole, it was like five murders. It was supposed to be 13. It was supposed to be 13, and I was on my way to do at least 10 more, and then, all I heard was ring, 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 and I had to pull over because I knew it was probably my time. So you wasn't going to stop if you didn't get caught? Ma'am, no. Like I said, I had like 10 more on my list that I was going through, and I was on the verge. He said, who did? And they'll tell you, the devil, the judge said, so what told you to do that? The devil. They telling you. I know y'all, I seen like 15 different court scenes of them catching, the demon, and the demon telling them, literally, the devil told them to do it. He said the devil? Yeah, the devil. He told me to do it. He told me I had 10 more to do. And I got caught. Yeah, I'm letting you know, I just seen a court interview of this demon that they caught. He said he had done something to a woman, okay, and then he offed her, and he already had offed like 3 other family members, and he had like 10 more that he had to do before the day end. Now you telling me this is an actual soul? I know you guys are up here with it. You know this is a straight up demon. This is a empty vessel. This is a soul that has been taken, has been hijacked, now working for the devil himself, snatching more souls. Come on, man. I know y'all here with it. I know y'all up with it. Y'all can't be thinking that these actual people. We passed this. We gotta, come on now. We passed the delusion. We're past all of this, fake, just low budget news. We up here with it. We know exactly what's taking place and what's going on. Within the children, he using them because it's easy to use them. They think, you think folks ain't gonna take them serious. Like, oh, that's just a kid, not knowing that's a straight up demon. And he come to kill, steal, and destroy. That's just a little kid. That ain't no dang kid. That's a 80, 90-year-old demon who's been snatching bodies and snatching souls since the 1960s. Stop playing. Why are we playing? Took my mom, my sister, and my mother, my stepmother, my ex-boyfriend tried to take me and my kids. Exactly. Now you can already see, what type of plan that this adversary had for you. He tried to work through the whole lineup. Yeah, you got to be attentive to this. This is not secret anymore. He's trying to snatch as many souls as possible. And then the souls that he do have, don't try to stay in the don't try to really stay in the in between that, because that's something that you got to really, take within the Lord and see what the Most High say about that. Like, hey, Heavenly Father, I see that soul, well, that vessel has been snatched. Is that soul gone? Like, can I pray for that soul to be renewed, or, whatever? Can I pray about that? And then the Most High will let you know. Because we are here to pray for folks as well. But it ain't looking good out here, man. It's a lot of souls that has been snatched. Young or old. It's a lot of souls, a lot of soulless beings out here that's rumbling around, and it's not safe, because you got to understand who's controlling that vessel. Now, we protected. We know what type of authority we have. Like the Bible states, we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. We fear no evil, because we already know who's on our side. But what I'm saying is, when you understand who's controlling the vessel, when you understand who controlling the vessel, it gets, a little bit, rocky. Cause you like, man, I got to watch this person. I gotta watch him. I gotta watch her. Because you got to understand that, who this person's of. It's kind of sort of like a Cain and Abel situation. Like Abel, he had to watch his back 24/7 because of this a demon that was in his blood, I wouldn't say in his bloodline, because they don't have the same bloodline, but literally, that was close to him. That was close to him. Very too close. Like, some of you guys got certain people that's too close to y'all, where y'all gotta, watch. And y'all ain't watching close enough. A lot of you guys still going on vacations with them. You know what happened to a bunch of, divine ones that went on vacations, thought it was cool to go on vacations, with someone that they thought that loved them, or maybe had a title to them, and it ended for the worse. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad because I'm telling you guys, it doesn't make sense. Like when you in school and they telling you that it's time for you to create your family tree. You know what I'm saying? And you going home, because I remember I did that. I went home and I called all family members to see who was connected to who and who was connected to what or whatever. And it was a big old tree that was big. I had to go get a big old poster board because the tree kept growing, because it was always a branch and there was always somebody connected to this. When they had kids and the kids was, went down to the other kids, and it was just a lot, and what the Most High, was explaining to me was in certain generations, there were people that was married into this family that was not part of me. And it did make sense. It made sense. Because think about it. If someone married your grandmother, okay, and this was a warlock, or someone married your grandpa who was a witch. You get what I'm saying? How things can get very, wishy-washy, to where it don't make sense of who's connected to who, because then the bloodline is tainted. Some folks can be from the devil in your family, and you can't, and you might not. You might be from a whole different bloodline. Simple, right? But it ain't simple when you grew up. You thinking everybody is just, related to everybody. But no, there actually are parasites that have been connected through the family, through marriage, that cause other people to cause the bloodline to be tainted. So you would have to actually do deeper research to figure out who's from who and who's not from who. Yeah. And this is what we wasn't taught, which we should have been. Why were we not taught this? Why are we thinking like literally parasites is you my brother, or you my sister, or you my aunt? And this is an actual parasite that has been married to the bloodline that is not part of you. No title, no nothing. Why you think they act the way they act? Why you think that, they do the things that they do? And it's easy for them to do, and it's hard for you to do. That's why I never went around calling people my cousin, my brother, and my sister, and all this stuff. I never went around like that. I didn't know what. I was confused as a child. I didn't know if I was even. I'm just gonna keep it real. I felt different. I had to really find myself, for real. Because if I was just based off of that, it would have been crazy. It wouldn't have been good. If it was just based off of what I seen, it wouldn't have been good. I just rolled with that. It wouldn't have been good. But yeah, the result, of this live here is you need to be discerning out here, because it's only a few of you. A lot of people have been hijacked. They are soulless. And you're like Truman. In certain areas where you dwell at, especially if you're in the city or you're in some type of town, you would feel as though you're Truman, and people will be orchestrating around you, and they're not the actual people that you really think they of. These folks are actually hijacked. Just like your devices hijacked, the people are hijacked, meaning they have someone else controlling them, and every time you move, they could move based off of someone that's controlling them at that time. So when you looking like, why is folks really are doing what I'm doing at the time that I'm doing it, is because someone could maneuver them to act upon you. in any given time. And I know you like, oh, they must be, watching me, like my neighbors or somebody. They are controlled, ma'am, sir. They don't even don't position, don't even entitle these clones as being a neighbor. Okay? This is an empty robot. Okay? Don't put no title to that. These folks is gone. Like they ain't, it's knocking at somebody's door, nobody answered, ain't nobody home. They know how to maneuver these folks that say hi and all this that's a persona. They ain't nothing there. Yeah, NPCs. They are NPCs. Treat them just like your device. Are you on? That's how they using them as. They know how to turn them on and turn them off. And that sometimes they can use them, 24/7 where they don't get no rest. You know how they just be, you like, dang, did this person get any rest? Did they get any sleep? No, they can use them as long. Remember, they ain't nobody there. It's just a robot. Now it's just a robot. Once you take the soul out of something, it's just a robot. They can use them and have them just 24/7, night and day. They could constantly use them. And you take an offense to, like, what you looking at? What you doing with it? And you talking to a robot. Why you driving past me and all this and all that? Putting all that effort into this is an empty robot. Ma'am, sir. You just will have to act as if they do not exist. If you still got to be in that neighborhood or that city, you need to act as if they don't even exist, because that's what it is. They're not existent. They're not existent anymore. They got taken. Even they children walking around here looking dizzy as I don't know what, clueless, just can't even walk straight. They falling on the floor. Get it together. Whoever is handling this vessel. Got the little boy falling on the floor. Whoever controlling it. It's sick. Got you just walking around just seeing this. That's why, in certain times of your life, you got to get out of the city. You're going to have to get out of the city. You're going to probably have to be a country man, a country boy. Country man, country boy, country woman, country girl. Got to probably go back to the countryside where there ain't too many. It ain't too many robots, because they really using them in these cities, in these popular areas. They're everywhere. It got a whole role for each and every one of the ones they hijack, just like they do on your devices in these cities. How it's easy for them to hijack your device. That same thing they're doing, to these people that they're soulless. They got their soul snatched. Yeah, over thousands. And that's in each state. It's only like 3 real ones in each state. It might be only one that has not been taken over. It might be 2 or 1. Have y'all read? When Abraham had sent his son Lot, right? Not son, his nephew Lot. He said, hey, if you could find one person in Sodom and Gomorrah, I would I would pray that the Most High save, that town or that state, within that state. Lot went around for days. I think Abraham gave him even months to do it, because he couldn't find out one person. Now think about it in where we stand. It's maybe 1 or 2 on each state that has not sold out. 1 or 2, that's the ratio. That's how scary this thing is. You walking around here thinking, oh, I'm going to find somebody. It's few. You might have to leave if you want to find, because it may be only one in your state. In order, if you find another one like you might have to leave. You ain't going to find it there. You probably the only one that made it out. You might have to leave. Yeah, exactly. You say I have not met another chosen one in 10 years. Exactly. Neither as we. That's why, social media is very, we come together because we on different parts. We're set up on different parts of the whole entire earth. So that's glory to the Most High that this happened. But I know people who have never in their whole lifetime have never met another one like them, because it's so few. It's very, very few. Oh, thank you. That's why it should be like an honor. Please do not miss, sabotage your opportunity with another divine one like yourself, if it ever comes. Or if you do have the opportunity, don't mess that thing up from maybe trauma or whatever that you went through, and you thought pray to the Most High, of course, examine the spirit, of course. But if you do, so happens, just know the Most High love the out of you. If he made a way where you got connected to another one like yourself, oh, man, don't take that for granted, because that's not something that comes. That's very, very rare, because even the adversary, he tried his best not to even get you close to one. He'll set up so much traps and set up this and set up that so that would never come to pass. But if the Most High said so, say it be. It's going to. So if you're destined, then that's in your timeline of it being so, it will be. So it don't matter what these, whatever NPCs, that he sent towards you, because that's all they were trying to do. In the divine one's life timeline, he sends a bunch of NPCs, your way to get you sidetracked, and you end up marrying one of them, or you end up co-creating with one of them. Don't be that statistic. Do not be that statistic, because that's what happened with a lot of divine ones. You got so tired, and you end up, letting your guard down to an NPC, and you end up having to deal with one of them while they have your life in a living hell. Because they connected to the adversary. Remember, we talked about this. If you marry one of them or you settle down with one of them, you're settling down with the devil himself, because he's controlling them. He's connected to them. He's operating in them. So you already know what they're going to do to you. They ain't here for you. They ain't here to actually make your life better. They're going to make your life set up for the worst. They're going to try to do whatever they need to do to make sure you don't redeem yourself when you separate from them, because you're going to eventually separate from them. But before that happens, they're going to try to make it seem as though you can never get back up on your feet again after they get done with you. So don't just get weary and settle for anything. You don't be the statistic of, others who done that. I say that to brothers and sisters, because I seen what these parasites have done, to divine ones when they had done that. It's crazy. And then they send some of them to you to give you an incurable disease. I've seen a lot of divine ones have to go through that. They took everything from them. They got to go back to court and try to fight for their things again, because they didn't just take the child, but they took all the possessions that was in that marriage that was, You know, because what they do is when they send them to you, they want to share everything with you. They want to have a shared account with you. They want to have a share this, a share that, and share that. You know what I'm saying? Because when it's time to separate, they're going to make your life a living hell. They're going to make your life a living hell to where it's probably going to take you years to redeem yourself. Because you got to go to court, and then they're doing witchcraft on the court. So it's always a delay of this, and there's always a problem with this, because don't do that. Don't do it. I'd say don't. Okay? Try your best not to get caught up with a parasite, a so-called NPC. Because if you trust me, the adversary, he got a plan for you if you do. You said you was asleep for over 50 years. Yeah, that's probably witchcraft too. The witchcraft probably played a part in you asleep, like that too. Because remember, with every divine one, they assigned a witch, like one of them high rank witches, they so-called, to do work on you, like 24/7, do work on you, never stop. Constantly doing, curses and spells on you to keep you asleep of what's taking place and what's going on. They're mandatory for every target to keep them asleep. They have a whole witch covenant, and they just do work on you all day, every day, especially on the full moon. Especially when it comes to the full moon, that's when big rituals and stuff start coming in effect, according to you, and then what they trying to do. That's why you got to constantly pray over yourself. You got to constantly, raise spiritual warfare to protect yourself, to build up your era, your hedge of protection, because they sold out a whole covenant to your name, have you on the altar, everything, to make sure that things will be stopped. That's how threatened, this adversary is of you. You always been a threat to him. So he had to have different departments that sold out, that have a whole team of your demise. But as you're on a high frequency, they can't do nothing when you on this high frequency, because you out block, all of it. They're on the low. They trying to do this on the low frequency. You on the high frequency, so it's not working. Especially when you're fasting, you praying, protecting yourself daily. They can't do nothing. They ain't stopping nothing. They're not stopping you from awakening. Are you crazy? The whole thing was for you to stop, for you not to awaken to what's going on. Yeah, when you fast, it builds up your stamina of your light force. Your light, you're not getting affected by sugar or or these foods that bring on parasites, like meat. Aw, that's so cute. I love that. I love the little dog. But yeah, it powers you up. So when you fasting, you're basically you're denying the flesh, because the flesh will make you weak. The flesh will have you, falling for any temptation, have you cloudy judgment. But when you fast, you're breaking barriers from the flesh. So all you're dealing with, that's really wide and awakened, is your spiritual man, which is your light force. And you need that to be up, because nothing could come. You're basically discerning everything that come in your light. You could detect it more. You're like, oh, that ain't supposed to be there. That ain't supposed to be there. That ain't, you could detect it. Your meter's up. You're in high regard. That's not where they want you to be at. They want you to be low, to where you can't see nothing. You can't see a bus if you was in the middle of the street. That's how they want you. That's why the Most High, he always get us on some type of a plan, you know, within our regimen of every category in our life, so that we can stay up here. You know, you say, hey, you got to stop doing that. You're putting too much of that in your body. You know what I'm saying? You got to detox right now. You know, you might want to exercise. You want to sweat right now. You know, you might want to get more fruits and vegetables and get on this little herb tea, you know, of a diet or something. You know what I'm saying? He always got us some things like that so that we can stay up, you know. We can stay up in high regard, vigilant. We have to. Because, again, they got all these covenants that sold out, that's trying to prey, P-R-E-Y, on your downfall. And keep you asleep. They can keep you asleep. It's cool. They ain't worried. They can keep you asleep. That's fine. But if you awaken and you can see and you can hear and all, oh, no. That's not good. That ain't good. We can't do what we need to do. You know? And it's like if they don't, you know, if they don't do their job, you know, that's consequences. There's consequences with them in this little dark, this disgusting kingdom or whatever they have. You know, there's some stuff that happened to them because they sold out to doing things according to you. And if they don't accomplish that, you know, there's things that happen to them. Which it always things that happen to them because they always fail. They always fail. You see, then they gotta create a whole nother lineup. Because the whole lineup had failed. You dropped the whole covenant. So they gotta come up with a whole different lineup just for that to happen again. You say you need to find you some goat milk? I don't eat dairy. I don't drink or eat dairy, you know. But that's for us women, you know. Dairy is not good for our womb. So I wouldn't know about it. Yeah, they did. They sacrificed every last one of them when they. Oh yeah. I haven't been drinking milk ever since I was a young child, you know. My brothers and people, you know, they would, but I wasn't a milk, you know, type of. I never liked the milk or dairy. Period. I wasn't a dairy, you know, type of a lady at all. Yeah, definitely mucus, and when it sits in your body, it turns into pus. You know how the pus, you know, some people having pus that come out their pores. That's what it does in the insides, and it smells. It starts when you have it, and you don't detox or nothing for a long amount of time. It starts smelling very bad. I was like, I can't put that type of stuff, you know, in my vessel. I need my stuff. I need some stuff that if it stays in there, it still will be a pleasant to my body. So I just start doing research on things that is not good for your body. You know, that's why a lot of people, you know, they having problems with like breaking out and, you know, they getting, you know, rashes and all these things. It comes to what you eat, what you're putting in your body, you know, so you got to watch that for real. But, and that's why I really don't go to restaurants either, because they got parasites working in restaurants. And I just don't like them touching my food or the energy that they have and they bring upon my food. I don't like that. So I'm in a business of always, you know, preparing and making.